Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we are doing our NFL game predictions. Last week I went, what did I do last week? I went 10-4 and my dad went 11-3. Obviously the Bengals game didn't happen, and for some reason the 49ers Cardinals game was on there, and it wasn't even a Thursday night game, so I don't know why we had that on there, but we predicted 14 games. Pretty good week. Currently, I am leading my dad by 1 right now in the season series, and we picked one game different. So I either win the season or we tie, and obviously I'm looking to win, so let's get into it. There's no word of the day yet. It's like 8:30, and I doubt he's awake. But I called him, he did not answer, so we don't have a word of the day yet. Alright, so first off, we got the Chiefs-Raiders game playing at 3 o'clock today. It's Saturday, and yeah, so the Chiefs are just, right now, obviously playing to keep the 1 seed. I think no matter what, they're probably going to get it since the Bills and the Bengals didn't play yesterday. So I don't know if they really have any competition for the 1 seed here, but still, they're looking to go into the playoffs strong. Might have some of their starters benched, but it's okay. The Raiders are just not that good of a team. They did play really, really well against the 49ers last week, and then Jarrett Stidham ended up throwing an interception. That's tough, but Robbie Gould missed a kick, so that's also tough for the 49ers. And so I got to take the Chiefs in this one. They're just a much better team, and so will my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Titans versus the Jaguars, and this is a really, really good game. The Titans played really well last week against the Cowboys with Joshua Dobbs, and it was a pretty cool game to watch. Joshua Dobbs played really well after only being with the team for 8 days. And they looked good. They had a lot of backups in. Their secondary was really banged up, and they played pretty well against one of the best teams in the league. And now you're going up against the Jaguars, who are a really hot team right now. I think they've won like the last 5 games in a row. And you're playing for the playoffs right here. If you lose, you're out. If you win, you're in. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But the Jaguars are just such a great team right now. Trevor Lawrence is playing really well. That team is bonding together really well. That defense is looking a lot better. They beat the Cowboys in overtime a couple weeks ago, and then they still got Joshua Dobbs, and I really do like Joshua Dobbs, but he's not gonna carry you to a win. I think they do get Derrick Henry back, but just with how banged up the team is, and you got Joshua Dobbs, I don't see them pulling off the win against one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. So I gotta take the Jaguars, and so will my dad. So yeah. Next up, we got the Browns versus the Steelers. And, this game has already happened, and the Steelers, lost to the Browns at the Browns. But that was with Jacoby Brissett. That's when, I think the team was a lot better when they had Jacoby Brissett. They started off the season terribly. Kenny Pickett was learning things. They still had Mitchell Trubisky, I believe, when they played this game. So, I don't know. The Steelers actually started off the season 1-4, and then went to 2-6. They were absolutely terrible. And now, if the Patriots lose and the Dolphins lose, the Steelers and they win, the Steelers are in the playoffs. That's just crazy to think about. Kenny Pickett has played absolutely great this year, and I don't see him losing this one. They have lots of momentum, and they are ready to go compete against the Cleveland Browns, their division rival. They are pumped for this game. I don't think that Deshaun Watson can do really anything about it. He just hasn't been the greatest, hasn't been scoring very many points. That defense is still not the best, still not, good. And so I've got to take the Steelers in this one. I think Kenny Pickett starts them off fast, and then they just run the clock, run the ball, chew the clock with Najee Harris. And I think the Steelers secure a pretty simple dub in this game. And that is what my dad thinks as well. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Ravens versus the Bengals. And I just got to talk about the Ravens for a second. So, the Ravens obviously blew the... That was against the Steelers, right? Who did the Ravens play last week?
The Ravens didn't play December 25th, 2020.
Shut up, bro. Okay. Hold up. I'm pretty sure they played the Steelers, right? We're just going to go to ESPN. We will figure this out. Ravens. Baltimore. Schedule. So yeah, they played the Steelers last week. And bro, people are blaming their defense. People are actually like blaming their defense for that game. And that, I am so surprised at that. People were blaming their defense for giving up a double-digit lead in that game. And bro, what? They scored 13 points all game. 13. They held the Steelers to 16 points. The offense went 3 and out like what, 4 times and those last couple of drives in the fourth quarter? And you're going to blame the defense? I mean, that's crazy to me. They held them to like 3 field goals, and then, they got the touchdown. But I cannot believe that people are blaming the defense for this one. Their defense played absolutely great, and I really like them. It's just their offense. Their offense is a problem, and they're going up against the Bengals, who should be able to pick apart this defense. I mean, the Bengals are just such a great team, and, they're rested. They didn't really play too much last week because of Damar Hamlin, and, I don't see the Bengals losing this game with how that offense is looking. There's no way they score less than 15 points. I mean, that's all I can see. Whatever his name is, putting up, I forgot this. Tyler Huntley? It's not Tyler. We went over this. It's not Tyler. It's something, though. But still, I don't see him doing it. What is his name? It's T.Y. or something, right? I don't know. I always forget. But still, I just don't see him beating the Bengals. The Bengals defense is pretty good. So, even if he scored 10 points, it'd be a little surprising. So, I'm taking the Bengals in this one, and so is my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Vikings versus the Bears. And, the Bears right now, they're just playing for a pick. If the Texans have a good chance to win this week against the Colts. And so, if the Bears lose, I heard that the Bears win the tiebreaker to get the number 1 overall pick, even though that doesn't make sense because the Bears beat the Texans. So, technically, they should be better, but whatever, okay. So, I'm a little confused about that, but somebody did say that the Bears would get the number 1 overall pick if they had the same record, I think. I'm not sure. But, anyways, they're still playing to lose here. They'll take the number 2 pick right now. And so I do not see them beating the Vikings. And the Vikings are coming with vengeance after getting absolutely dominated by the Packers last week. And so I don't see the Vikings losing this one, and neither does my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Patriots versus the Bills. And the Patriots had an absolutely great game last week. Probably the best I've seen the offense play. Scored some touchdowns in the red zone. I mean, they looked decent. Put up 23 points. But still, with Matt Patricia as your offensive coordinator, that's the best that you're probably ever gonna do. So yeah, yeah, and now they're going up against the Bills, and the Bills, they just lost Damar Hamlin. I mean, he's still alive, but they lost him. They're looking to play for him in this game, and I do not see them losing to the Patriots. I mean, I think they are motivated and they are ready to go. I do not see them losing to the Patriots in this one. They're going to score way more points. I don't see that offense keeping up with them. I'm taking the Bills, and so is my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Jets versus the Dolphins. And this is an interesting matchup. You got Joe Flacco versus Skylar Thompson. And I really do like Skylar Thompson. I think I've liked what I've seen from him. And, he's kind of an interesting player. Not exactly sure what college he's from, but I did like watching him the one game that I did see him play. However, he is not the greatest by any means. And, the Jets, they don't have any momentum. I'm going to be honest with you. the Jets are absolutely just spiraling out of control. But with Joe Flacco in, I mean, Joe Flacco had an amazing comeback against the Browns this year. Joe Flacco's played pretty good, and maybe, I mean, I don't know, but I just, it's kind of the end of the year. It's cold, and you got Joe Flacco, close, February Joe, but it's not February. I mean, I don't know. So I'm taking the Jets in this one. I don't know why, but the Dolphins have been shot and killed. I mean, they have been hunted for whatever you hunt a dolphin for. I mean, my gosh. I mean, they lost to the Patriots. They've lost their starting quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater isn't playing for some reason. And, I mean, I just do not see them winning this game right now. And so I've got to take the Jets. And, maybe Joe Flacco plays pretty well. So I'm taking the Jets. And so is my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Buccaneers versus the Falcons. And this is an interesting game. Is Tom Brady going to sit out? I don't think so. I think he's going to play at least the first half. And, I want to see the Falcons do good. But, I'm trying to play for a pick. Honestly, I would have been glad if we would have lost last week to the Cardinals, because we would have been ahead of the Rams, and we would have been ahead of the Cardinals, and we would have had like the number 5 pick instead of number 7, I think is where we're at. And so I would have been really, really happy with that. But we won the game. But, I'm not trying to fall back again by getting another win. And, so I don't really want to win this game. And I think the Buccaneers have a lot of momentum after winning last week and putting up the show that they did. I mean, absolutely amazing from Tom Brady and Mike Evans. I mean, I thought the Panthers had it. They started off really strong. But, I mean, Tom Brady was Tom Brady, and he has found his way into the playoffs. And I'm taking the Buccaneers in this one, and so is my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Panthers versus the Saints. And this is a huge, huge, huge game. Really interesting game. It'll be really cool to see. I mean, it's not a huge... Why did I say a huge, huge, huge game? I was thinking about the Lions and Packers game because something was coming up in my head, but no. This is not a huge game. But for the Panthers, this is a pretty big game. The Saints right now have, a lot of momentum. They've played really, really well. Hold up, I gotta trim this clip real quick. Give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. You guys will never know that I trimmed the clip because, obviously, what you're seeing is, what I've trimmed now. But anyways, so this is a big... Anyways, I was talking about the momentum for the Saints. The Saints have won, like, a lot of games in a row. I mean, they started off 4-9. Well, I mean, they were 4-9. Now they're 7-9. I don't know, but they have been playing pretty well. And, they just came off of a win against the best team in football, against the Eagles. Obviously, they didn't have Jalen Hurts, but their defense played really well and held the Eagles to 10 points. And, put up 20 points against a really good Eagles defense. And so I'm sure they're feeling really good about that. And, they're just excited to play right now. They don't have a really high draft pick because they're 7-9. So, they don't really care if they win or lose this game. And, as for the Panthers, they're fighting for Steve Wilks right now. I mean, Steve Wilks just had a massive blow that really, messed him up. Lost to the Buccaneers. And, if he's trying to get a job, obviously it would have been great if they could have made the playoffs. But they're still fighting for a job right now. And, I mean, I think the Panthers really do like Steve Wilks, and they really do want him to win, and they really do want to have him as a coach next year. And so I think they're going to play really, really hard for this game to try and prove to the owners, to rehire him as an actual head coach. And, I think they come out here and win this game against the Saints. I mean, they just have so much more to play for. Neither team's going to make the playoffs. Neither team's really playing for a draft pick. But the Panthers are playing for a leader. And I do not see them losing. I am taking the Panthers in this one. However, my dad is going to take the Saints. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Texans versus the Colts. And, honestly, if it's during, like, any normal game of the season, like, say it's week 8, I'm taking the Texans in this game. Because the Texans, I think, are just such a competitive team. And, I think they're really good. They beat the Titans when they had Malik Willis, which I would have predicted. I promise y'all I would have predicted that. if I would have known that Malik Willis was starting, because I freaking hate Malik Willis for absolutely no reason, but I do not like him, and obviously he's not very good. But anyways, as I was saying, the Texans are a really competitive team, and I just think they're so much better than the Colts. I mean, aside from those first 2 weeks that they had Jeff Saturday, I just think they're such a better team. But right now, they're playing for the number 1 overall draft pick. They're looking for a quarterback or maybe an edge rusher. Whatever they want in the draft, they're looking to have the number 1 overall pick. And, winning this game really doesn't do much for them. So, I don't, I just don't see them playing for a win right now. So I got to take the Colts because the Colts, Jeff Saturday is fighting to keep his job for next year, which I doubt will happen. But, he's still fighting for it. He's going to try and win this game. He's going to try and get rehired as an actual head coach. I don't see that happening, but he's still going to try for it. And so I got to take the Colts in this one at home, and so is my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Cardinals versus the 49ers. This is the pick that I made, freaking last week for no reason. I could have swore it was the Thursday game, but there isn't a Thursday game this week, so I don't even know. But anyways, Cardinals 49ers. It's a pretty not cool game. I mean, the Cardinals are absolutely terrible. Have their 4th string quarterback in David Blau in right now. And, I mean, what are you going to do about that? I mean, the 49ers are just such a better team. And do they have the 2nd seed right now? Who would the 2nd seed be? Are they the 4th seed or the 2nd seed? I know the Vikings are the 3rd. Are the Vikings the 4th? Who are the 4 best teams? Okay, so you got the Bucks at 4th. Okay, so who's 2nd? So they got to be 2nd. 49ers. So are they really paying? You know what? Never mind. I'm not even going to talk about that. But the 49ers are going up against the Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury is going to be fighting for this game because obviously he's trying to keep his job. But you're going up against one of the best teams in football, if not the best team. And, with what you have right now with all your injuries, and, you got David Blau starting at quarterback and your team's not motivated, I don't see them winning this game. Maybe, J.J. Watt, it's his last game ever. He's going to retire, puts a lot of pressure on Brock Purdy, and he just throws like 4 interceptions and they lose. But that's not going to happen. So I'm taking the 49ers at home, and so is my dad. So, yeah, but, if J.J. Watt has a really good game and they win, I mean, that would be cool, I guess. A good sending away for J.J. Watt, be interesting. But anyways, next up we got the Cowboys versus the Commanders. And to me, this is a really, really cool game. Sam Howell is going to be playing, and I really do like him coming out of the draft. I think he's a really good quarterback. I loved watching him in preseason. Was really, really good. And, drafted in like the 5th round. And, obviously better than Malik Willis, in my opinion. Probably better than... Who are the other quarterbacks? I don't know. Who are the other... I don't know who the other quarterbacks were in the draft class. I just know Desmond Ridder, Kenny Pickett, and Malik Willis. But obviously I think he's better than Malik Willis, and he could be better than Desmond Ridder. I mean, what I saw from and Matt Corral, what I saw from Sam Howell in the preseason was absolutely amazing. He had a lot of good traits, a really good pocket presence, and I really did like him. Showed off his running abilities, and I think he was really good. However, you're going up against the Cowboys, who are playing for the number 1 seed. Hopefully the Eagles lose, and the Cowboys take the spot. And so that's going to be really tough for Sam Howell in his first ever NFL start. Even though I do think he's a really good player, and sometimes the Cowboys just absolutely play terrible against bad teams, which, they're not terrible, but they're not the greatest, the Commanders. But, maybe Sam Howell pulls it off. I would love to see that. I'd love to see something from Sam Howell this year. It'd be a great way to go into your 2nd year, winning the last game of the season for a team that was kind of spiraling out of control. I would love that for Sam Howell, but I just don't see him doing that. Cowboys have a lot more to play for right now, and the Commanders don't have Brian Robinson. He's out, so that's going to put a lot more pressure on Sam Howell without, your main piece of the run game. So I'm taking the Cowboys in this one, and so is my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Rams versus the Seahawks. And I could definitely see the Rams winning this one, but it's just I really do like Baker Mayfield, and I don't know why, but I do love him so much, and I always want to see him win games, and I think he definitely could win this game against the Seahawks, because he's trying to be the starting quarterback over Matthew Stafford next year, which probably won't happen, but it could. And if he wins this game, it would definitely help out his case. And so, I want to pick Baker Mayfield in this one, but the Seahawks, I don't see Geno Smith choking under the pressure. I mean, I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he's a smart quarterback. I think, I just don't think he's going to be, I just don't think he's going to blow it. And so they have to win this game, obviously, if they want to make the playoffs. And, if the Packers win and they win, they still don't make it. But I'm still cheering for them. So, yeah. Well, actually, no, I'm cheering for the Rams, kind of. But, anyways. But, yeah, I got to take the Seahawks in this one. I want to take Baker Mayfield, but I got to take the Seahawks. They're just a better team. They have a better defense. They have a better, they're not hurt. They're playing for something. I got to take the Seahawks. And so does my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we got the Giants versus the Eagles. And, I was thinking about taking the Giants in this one. But, the spread is 14 to the Eagles. They're projected to win by 14. And so that's kind of telling me that, the Giants starters aren't really going to play too much. And obviously, I don't know why I said obviously, but I don't think that Jalen Hurts is going to play in this game. I think he should, because they're going to have a bye week, and he's not going to play football for 5 weeks, like 4 or 5 weeks in a row, and he's going to have to play in the playoffs. But I don't think they're going to play him. I don't think they're going to take that risk. But, the Giants aren't really playing for much. If they lose, they still got the 6th seed or whatever. If they win, still got the 6th seed. So, I mean, it really doesn't do too much for them, and they're going to be sitting their starters. I've got to take the Eagles in this one, and so will my dad, regardless of if Jalen Hurts plays or not. So, yeah. Next up, I got the Chargers versus the Broncos, or we got the Chargers versus the Broncos. And the Broncos played a pretty good game last week against the Chiefs, and this season they have been playing really well against the Chiefs for no reason, even though they haven't won any. They've still been playing pretty good. The first game without Nathaniel Hackett went a lot better than I was expecting. Even though I didn't think Nathaniel Hackett was any good, I just thought, new coach, you don't have much to play for. But, I mean, hey, they came out there and put on a show. Even though they lost, it was still kind of cool to watch. And the Chargers, I thought they were going to take the pedal off the brakes when they went up against the Rams last week. They did not, and they won, and, kind of made me upset, but it's okay. So I'm not going to, guess against them this time. I mean, the Chargers are a much better team than the Broncos, and, it's a divisional game. They never want to lose to a divisional opponent, so I'm taking the Chargers in this one, and so is my dad, and, yeah. Next up, we got the last game here, and I'm very back and forth on this one. Because the Lions, it's a divisional opponent. They're hyped. Jared Goff has been playing absolutely great. Hasn't been turning the ball over. Hardly any turnovers in the last 8 weeks for them. Maybe they've had one fumble, maybe. But I don't know. Jared Goff has been playing out of his mind. That offense has looked great. That defense has been decent. Their point differential, I think they're 3rd in the league. 2nd in points scored, and obviously 1st in turnovers, offensive turnovers. And, they have been playing really well, and obviously Dan Campbell is going to get them really hyped up because they believe in him, and they are super excited. He gets them motivated. I don't know how he does it, but he has took this Lions team to a place that nobody thought he could take them in 2 seasons. So I don't know, and I was watching Undisputed last night, on YouTube, because I couldn't watch it that morning because I had school, and it doesn't come on until 8:30. But anyways, and he took the Lions, and I'm not gonna lie,
I'm telling you, bro. Skip always has the best prediction. I don't know if I've watched a video where he has a bad prediction. I'm just saying. He doesn't make many. He doesn't miss very often throughout the season. And he's taking the Lions when everybody's taking the Packers. And I don't know, but the Packers have just been playing so much better, and they've found their offense. They've found their cause. They know what to do. They know that they have to run the ball. And, Aaron Rodgers is in Aaron Rodgers form, and they've won, like, the last 5 games in a row, and the Packers are just a much better team. So, do you gotta take the Packers? I'm not sure. I think it's really going to come down to which turnover team is better. The Packers are first in defensive turnovers. I'm pretty sure. The Lions are first in offensive turnovers. So who are they not going to turn the ball over? Or is he going to throw 3 or is Jared Goff going to throw 3 interceptions? I think it's really going to come down to that. And we'll see. I'm taking the Packers at Lambeau Field. But if the Lions win, I'm just saying it could happen. I'm going to take the Packers, and so is my dad. But it's going to be close. It's going to be close. But I never did get a word of the day, I don't believe. Yeah, I didn't. I'll call him again before the video ends. Let's see. I doubt he'll answer. Answer. If he doesn't answer on the 3rd read, I'm hanging up. Hope you fall through a wall. Anyways, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. Lance now on 3rd and goal. Feeling the pressure here and taking